What is TDEE and why does that matter on your weight loss journey?
So as you can see on this chart here, this is your TDEE broken down into 4 sections. You've got BMR, basal metabolic rate, you've got NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, TEF, thermic effect of feeding, and EAT, exercise activity thermogenesis. Now let's work through explaining each of these 4 items. So BMR, basal metabolic rate, resting metabolic rate, whatever you want to be calling it. This is how many calories you burn at rest. So doing nothing, by sleeping, sitting at your desk all day, just anything, just to keep all of your body functions running. That is how many calories you burn. And you can see that takes up a big chunk of your overall total daily energy expenditure, 70% on average. Moving into NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, around about 15%. Those numbers will vary through different studies. They'll go between 10 to 20%, but 15 is just a very, very good average to give for this. Now this includes things like getting your steps in, fidgeting, pretty much just anything that's not actually an exercise-based activity. Your thermic effect of feeding, that is how many calories your body processes by digestion. So this is why a high protein diet is recommended for burning more calories, because protein obviously takes more calories to break down. Again, numbers can vary between 5 to about 20%. And then finally, exercise activity thermogenesis, 5% on average. Now the reason this one, again, it can go up to 10, it depends on your activity level, but as an average number, 5% is about right. And you can see how small that part plays in your day-to-day total daily energy expenditure. So if you're trying to go onto a rowing machine or a spin class and burn in calories, that is how much of your total daily you are actually affecting. Most of it comes through just at rest. Now that doesn't mean for 1 second that you can just sit still and you'll be in a calorie deficit. Of course not. But the highlight from this point is to mainly take away from here. 15% of the calories that you burn per day come from actually not specific exercise. It's just trying to get more steps in. So those few thousand steps that you're trying to do, or you might think, oh, are not that important, they add up very, very quickly, and they can be the main difference between either being in a deficit or not.
Now a key point to take away from this is that you can't out-exercise a bad diet. So if you worked out your total daily energy expenditure using a calculator online, or even comment below and I'll make sure I work it out for you, you input details such as your height, your weight, your activity level. It covers all bases, so then that is working out what your TDEE is. You will then put your deficit, so your calorie target for your weight loss would be then underneath that. That is what creates your deficit, not just bringing up a number that might have worked for someone else, because their TDEE will be vastly different to yourself. Now, one thing you don't want to fall into the trap of doing is just creating the biggest deficit possible. Of course, we all want results quicker and we all want less effort going into it. The bigger deficit you create though, the less energy you're going to be provided with, the more fatigue you're going to start to feel. You're not going to be able to put the same effort into your training, therefore not making the muscle building gains that you want as well. Stick to a healthy deficit of just about 10 to 15% lower than your TDEE. You will lose fat over a consistent amount of time, and it will be in a way that you can then still feel full of energy. And make sure your dietary choices within that diet are also with whole healthy foods, rather than just filling your deficit target up with pretty much rubbish. I hope this video has helped explain a little bit more about TDEE and how your calorie deficit can be calculated. If it has, please like and share and subscribe to the channel, because there will be more videos coming just like this.